Garry Moore Show, and here's Garry.
Thanks so much. Good evening. Much love to each of you from all of us. We have several surprises lined up for you tonight, and I'm sure...
Say, Garry.
Old friends, you all know television's tallest leprechaun, Durward Kirby. Oh, come on.
Garry, look, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you remember my Aunt Mary who came on the show, a couple of weeks ago, I think?
Oh, sure. Very sweet lady.
Boy, and you made an impression on her?
Yeah?
Oh, marvelous. She went home and formed the Garry Moore Fan Club.
Oh, well, now, that's very, very nice.
And she's back in town right now. As a matter of fact, she has some of the members with her, and I was wondering, could you take just a moment or so they could meet you?
Well, sure, Dur. I'd be very happy to. A fan club, gee.
Oh, wonderful. Aunt Mary? Aunt Mary? Here she is. Here she is. Come out here.
Hello, Mr. Moore. Bet you didn't expect to see me back in town so soon.
No, I really didn't.
Well, these are the folks from the fan club. Didn't I tell you he was short? Well, this is Mr. Patterson. He's vice president.
Mr. Patterson?
And Miss Crane, she's the secretary.
Miss Crane? Oh, yeah.
And down at the end there is Mr. Simmons. He's treasurer.
Oh, Mr. Simmons.
And I'm the president.
Well, I'm very pleased that you all came. How many members are there in the fan club altogether?
You mean counting us?
Yes.
4. but we've got a big membership drive on. Miss Crane is in charge of that.
Oh.
That's right. We've got 4,000 people in our town, and we sent out all the pictures of you we had. 200.
200? Well, then you'll need some more.
Oh, well, no. You see, most people send them back.
And then you send them out again.
And they send them back.
And you keep sending them out.
Well, until they get too dirty. But we're sure to get more members because we're all so enthused about the project. Isn't that right, Mr. Patterson?
When do we go to Radio City?
Oh, well, we're going. They've never been in New York before.
Oh, really? Well, have you folks seen any of the sights yet?
No, you're the first one. We're not keeping you from anything, are we?
Oh, no, I've got to be out here anyway.
Oh, good. Well, Mr. Moore, are you going to sing on the show tonight?
I'm going to sing a little.
Oh, good, because Mr. Simmons just loves the way you sing. Don't you, Mr. Simmons?
Hey?
He says you like the way Mr. Moore sings.
Yes. Is he singing now?
No, dear. Well, Mr. Moore, it was so sweet of you to meet us. But before we go, we'd like to give you this.
Oh. When do we go to Radio City?
In a minute, dear. You see, we passed the hat around town so that we could get you a little present.
Oh, well, now, you shouldn't have done that.
Oh, well, it isn't much. We didn't collect anything, but we thought you'd like the hat.
Thanks very much. Thank you all for being with me tonight. I'm proud of my fan club.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wow. You know, pretty soon, our high schools and colleges will be having their graduation proms, and I still remember how much fun those dances were. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be truthful with you. I don't exactly know how to introduce our next guest, except to say that he reminds me of the social director of the Twilight Zone. And here he is, that bright young comedian, Jackie Mason.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Certainly is a great thrill for you to see me here. Before I go any further, I'd like to announce that this is my third time on this show. I could see how you choked up with this information. I'll tell you very honestly, I like this show not for the money. To some people, the most important thing in life is money. I'm not saying it's not important, but you have to realize that there's something in life that's a lot more important than money, and that's love. Personally, I'm very fortunate because I love money. You know what I found out? I found out that there's only one thing you could get without money. Sick. Although if you want to get better, it costs a fortune. That's why I say to you, don't allow money to pervert your standard of values. Live a life of brotherhood, honor, and fraternity. And you'll see that in the long run, you'll be wiped out completely. That was my best joke. What I say is important is how you relate to people. That's what counts more than everything. I always said the same thing, do unto others, and do it fast. Otherwise, they'll do it to you. I want you to remember the words of my grandfather. He was a man who never believed in material things. All his life he said the same thing. Never guard your money, guard your health. So one day, while I was guarding my health, somebody stole my money. I found out later it was my grandfather. That's how he made a living. I'm kidding you. My grandfather happened to be a wonderful person. A remarkable man. He had some head on his shoulders. No neck. Just the head. And this man was a genius in the stock market. In fact, he bought 7-Up when it was only 6 1/4. And he told me how to invest my money. He said to me, try copper. I lost. Then he said to me, try zinc. I lost. Then he said to me, steel. I made a fortune. You see, I started slow, but before you know it, I die out completely. This is a trick. There was a time that I used to stink right away. Now it takes a whole life. What I'm trying to bring out to you is this. Unfortunately, we have a materialistic society where too many people are involved in the conquest of money to such an extent that they forget the necessity and the meaning of true human emotions. A professor from Columbia University recently wrote a book about this exact problem. He said that among men in this country right now, 2 out of 4 are suffering from a lack of love. Now I'll ask you a question. If he's such a genius, why do you have to say 2 out of 4? Could have said 1 out of 2, same thing. Goes to show you he knew a lot about love, but arithmetic. This he didn't know. He also said that the women in this country are suffering from the same problem. A lack of love. 1 out of 3 women in America right now are suffering from not enough affection and love. Ever since I read that, whenever I see 3 girls together, I always wonder which is the one. You know that all my life I've been meeting the wrong 2. What I'm trying to bring out is this. You see, me, these things don't disturb because I'm happy under all circumstances. You know why I'm happy? Because I know who the real me is. Very few people really know who they are. That's why they're unhappy. Once you know who you are, nothing could disturb you. There was a time I didn't know who I was either. But my psychiatrist explained it to me. As soon as I came into his office, he said to me, you don't know who you are. In order to be happy, we have to look for the real you. I said to myself, that's all I got to do is look for me. That's all I got to do. I have to look for the real me. Is this so important? I said to myself, I know who I am. I don't know who he is, but I know who I am. What if I look for the real me and I find that he's even worse than me? What do I need him? I don't make enough for myself. I need a partner. 10 years ago, if he told me to look for the real me, I would have been happy to look because at that time I couldn't make a living. But now I'm doing good. Why should I look for him? If he needs help, let him look for me. He said, what you don't understand is that every individual is broken down into 2 parts. I'll tell you the truth, I knew I was broken down, but I never knew how many. He says, and the search for the real you will have to continue. That'll be $25, please. I said to myself, if this is not the real me, why should I give him the $25? I'll look for the real me, let him give him the $25. What if I find the real me and he doesn't think it's worth $25? Then I'm stuck my money with the real him. I said to myself, for all I know, the real me might be going to a different psychiatrist altogether. Well, how do I know he's not a psychiatrist himself? I said, wouldn't it be funny if you're the real me and you owe me $25? I said, I'll tell you what, I'll charge you $10. We'll call it even. I got news for you. I kept on studying and I found out who I am. You know who I really am? Carol Burnett. That's why I would just like to say that if I made you happy at all tonight, then I'm happy. If, however, I did not make you happy, don't think I'm going to worry about it, because it's none of my business. This is not me. Let Carol Burnett worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, in all sincerity, I want you to remember one thing. That in life, remember that money is not important. As far as money is concerned, you can't take it with you. Remember that friends are more important than money. That's why when I go, I'm going to take my friends. And I know that you have friends who would also like to pay. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all familiar with those magazines which show photographs of elegant, beautifully furnished homes. Well, tonight, we're going to give you an inside look at an apartment that is to be featured in the next issue of Home Beautiful magazine. We take you now to the magnificent living room of Mr. and Mrs. Fillmore Cartwright III of Park Avenue.
Yes?
Good evening, Mr. Cartwright.
Yes.
I'm Lee Henderson, the photographer from Beautiful Homes magazine.
Oh, yes, yes. We've been expecting you. Yes. Do step right in. Pamela, dear. This is my wife, Mrs. Cartwright.
Hello.
How do you do? I must say that I have been photographing homes for 15 years, but I have never seen any room as exquisite as this one. It is simply stunning.
I say, would you mind not standing in one place so long? You're depressing the carpet.
I'm terribly sorry.
Mr. Henderson,
Yes.
you have your hand on my teakwood railing.
Yes, and it's terribly sensitive to clammy hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Cartwright, I understand that each of you contributed equally to the furnishing of this room.
Yes.
Yes, and yet our tastes blend so perfectly. There is not one jarring note.
Would you hold that for just a moment? It gives me a wonderful idea for a picture.
Oh.
The two of you in front of the fireplace, toasting each other for your mutual success in creating this room.
What a clever little chap. Do you mean like this?
Thank you.
Oh, that would make a marvelous picture. Now, if you'll just let me run down to my car and get the rest of my equipment, I'll be right back. Oh.
Ta-ta.
Well, Pamela, my dear, finally our lovely jewel box is actually going to be immortalized in Home Beautiful.
Yes, Fillmore, and I do like what you said before to that little fellow. I mean, about our taste blending so perfectly.
Well, it's absolutely true, my dear.
Yes.
There is not one jarring note in this entire room.
No, not one, not one.
Except, perhaps, for this ashtray which you bought in Copenhagen. I think I shall just put it here in the drawer until after the picture taking is over. There. Now the entire room is in impeccable taste.
Do you really think so, Fillmore?
Yes, of course, don't you?
No, dear, you see, I searched all over Denmark to find just the right ashtray for that spot on that table. There, now the room is in perfect order once again.
Well, really, Pamela, I think that in a case such as this, that your taste, however excellent, should defer to mine. Now, you must admit that was a tremendous improvement.
Fillmore, I feel that that table cries out for that ashtray. There.
Oh, very well, Pamela. Since you're so determined, why should we waste our time on petty little arguments?
You're right, dear.
There.
Why, Fillmore, you threw my little ashtray out the window.
Yes, now wasn't that the best way to settle our little disagreement?
I loved my little ashtray. I loved my little ashtray almost as much as you love the vase you bought in Bangkok.
Oh? Which one?
Why, this one, dear.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
That was pretty petulant of you, Pamela. I must admit I was quite shaken by what you did to my vase.
I dare say you were, dear.
Just as you would be if anything were to happen to your lovely collection of Venetian stemware.
That was terribly middle class of you, Philip.
But you understand why I had to do it.
Yes, dear, yes. I think I do.
I wasn't quite expecting that, Pamela.
Really?
Absolutely not. Especially not from a woman who appreciates beauty so much that she would travel all the way to Rome simply to choose an exquisite pair of Fortuny drapes.
This wouldn't turn into a debate, Fillmore. However, I find what you just did inexcusable, especially for a man who would travel the world over seeking out a priceless and rare and irreplaceable Kyoto screen.
That was rather small of you, Pamela.
Your Grecian urn.
Your Dresden figurines.
Set of Charlie Lisenby's and all those lovely props furnished us by Bill Harp, and it's the fourth time today we've had to do that. We had to have a complete new set of props for every rehearsal. I don't dare look at the budget this week. '38's biggest hit picture was Algiers. It told the story of Pepe Le Moco, a notorious jewel thief, and his ill-fated love affair. It all took place here in the Casbah, a walled city of mystery and intrigue. More important, Algiers introduced to America one of the most beautiful women in motion picture history, Hedy Lamarr.
Welcome to the Casbah. What brings you here, eh?
I am Gabi, the most beautiful woman in all Europe. and certain parts of Tel Aviv.
Yes, but why are you here? What brings you to the Casbah?
I long for excitement. I am bored, beautiful, rich and bored and beautiful.
Mademoiselle, it is not safe for such an exquisite woman to wander in the dangerous alleys of the Casbah. You must leave quickly.
No, first I must meet him.
Him?
Yes, the most notorious of all the jewelry thieves.
You mean...
Pepsi La Cola. Where is he hiding? Tell me, where is he hiding?
No, never. I will never tell you. I gave my sacred word of honor. I swore by the beard of the prophet that I would never reveal his hiding place. And not once have I ever betrayed him. Until now. Pepsi! Pepsi, there is someone here to see you. She is very rich, Pepsi. Pepsi, be sociable. Marcel, a word of warning. Pepsi La Cola is not only a very dangerous man, he is a very handsome one. Watch yourself at all times.
I am Pepsi La Cola. Come with me to the Casbah.
You mean just the two of us together in the Casbah for the rest of our lives?
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah.
In 1938, many of the songs that have got to the top of the list... Marion, dear,
Oh,
what have you got there?
well, it's an Algerian vase. It's very rare, and I only paid $10 for it.
Only paid $10 for this rare Algerian vase. Marion, it says on the bottom, made in Japan. I think you were taken for $10.
No, well, that's what you think. The $10 was made in Japan, too.
Well, that's it, but before I say goodnight to our guests, I want to send our special greetings to our friends in Michigan for a happy Michigan Week celebration. Certainly want to thank Mr. Mel Torme. Sit here now, my boy. Carl Haney. Jackie Mason. Carl Burnett. Marion Lorne. Garry. Before we go, we'd like to say, we hope you had a laugh or a smile. Somebody is jealous. We hope to see you soon. Thanks for dropping by, but just for now we'll say goodbye. So until next week, good night. Be very kind to each other, will you? And goodbye out there.
Hairstyles by Ernest Adler. The preceding program was pre-recorded.